right in here.
And now, let's, I've already done Hover Bother, I'm sure I've done that. And there's a very similar game on the VIC-20 which came out the same year. Don't know how close in like months. Called Mower Mania. I can't remember who does that for the VIC-20, but you should definitely try that game. I actually prefer that. But you know, that's fine too. Hover Bother is fine too. I just don't know which one came first. So yeah, Matrix is on here, so there we go. Loading the Matrix. So these are probably quite small games because I think they're on the 8K VIC-20, so they're probably like 16K games. Oh yeah, Human Engineered Software in America, they had some of these games on cartridge, and I think the basic cartridge for the C64, like, you know, the standard size, the cheapest cost version, I suppose. Let's have a look at what it says in the listing. So there's no actual cracker name, but whoever cracked it has actually put REM Matrix, just in case, you know, you copied the game and you didn't label it properly on the copy. I don't fucking know, what the hell am I doing? And you don't even have to do that. I don't know why I'm doing this, wasting battery time. So there we go. Select the start level. How do we... F1? Yeah. Yeah, they had a thing on the early C64 games to use the function keys the same way you use the, you know, start, reset, option, select, etc. Sort of function keys on the Atari 800, which I think were in the same position on the keyboard. Yeah, they're definitely on the side on the 800 XL. Do have a mint boxed version, and I don't just mean it's mint inside a shit box. I mean, it does look like you just bought it in a shop. 800 XL. Oh man, this is immediately harder. The scrolling of the actual Matrix is good. You know, I think that works well. But it could be just a redefined character set. No, we got cats over the SX64 CRT now. Bloody hell, this is... but the auto fire is built in. You know, plus points for that. These are rock hard games actually. I think that's the thing with you know, the following for Jeff Minter. Some people really like, you know, him as a, you know, coding personality. I'm more down the Tony Crowther route on that one for like early C64 programmers, but a lot of Jeff's games on the C64 are absolutely fine, and his VIC-20 games for me, they're like some of the best VIC-20 games you can buy. So, but this is pretty good. I mean, do you really care how it's being done? The fact that there's no sprites, the fact that you could probably do it on a BBC Micro, or you could do it on anything actually. If you're scrolling the screen there just by changing them characters, redefining them characters every 50th of a second, that's just like effectively 8 pokes in machine code. You know, in the vertical blank. Bloody hell. Yeah, like I was kind of saying, but it doesn't really work out that way. the controls, because they're character based, you do kind of find it difficult to move just one character, and that's with a zip stick. So that's really the only negative thing I'd say about this game. He's added a kind of bonus thing at the guy at the top. I don't know what that does. Are you supposed to try and get him? It's a nice game actually, and so is Grid Runner, which I'm pretty sure came before this. I used to love playing Grid Runner and Laser Zone on my VIC-20. I didn't have a lot of good games on the VIC-20. Yeah, because I only had a VIC-20 for about 2.5 months. But yeah, that's good. That's definitely a good game. If you want to know what early C64 ownership was like. So, and really, if you got the C64 full size, you should go through the Commodore 64 gaming catalogue chronologically, really. Well, roughly. You don't have to be. But you should definitely play 1982 and 1983 games together, and then move on to like 84, 85, things like that, and then you start looking at the rest of them. That's how I would do it. But then, like I said, I've actually made a list of all the games that I did have for my C64, and I have you know, tried to split them up chronologically, but it's not easy, because usually you just get a year and there's no way of knowing which magazine reviewed which early game. Before that, yeah, is a bit of a hard slog. I think his name is Sheldon Cooper on the Lemon 64 website. You know, he kindly added the details for, like, you know, various issues of various magazines that reviewed games on the, you know, the details of the game, you know, on the Lemon 64 database of games, not the forums. So that's really handy actually for the earlier games. And you got to remember, some of they just haven't been done. So I might as well do Matrix again. Just having to read there. Right, okay. Okay, that's much harder. I wanted to look at the explosion on the CRT there, but I wasn't fast enough. Because on this Trinitron, you do get a lot of red and blue artifacting, as if it's simulating an American NTSC system. You don't seem to get that on the CRT there. It's only on the explosion graphics actually. I'll have to check when I'm watching back the videos. But yeah, if you can do that, if you can redo your character sets the same way you can do it like every 50th of a second on the C64, you could actually do this game just as well on an Amstrad. However, like I said, I don't know if you can do that. I don't think the Amstrad does it that way. I think the Amstrad, even when you're in BASIC and you're pressing the keys on the keyboard, I don't think there's a character based screen. I think they're all bitmaps, which is why it feels a bit sluggish using the Amstrad 464 BASIC. I'm really terrible at this one. Absolutely terrible. I thought that's something I could pick up there. Jesus. trying to get that one thing in it. Oh, they start going. Yeah, this is sort of like Matrix. 1.1 really. It's probably what Matrix would have been like if he knew more about the C64 at the time, and he wasn't converting an existing VIC-20 game, which is obviously more simple. I think that's probably why I prefer Matrix on the C64, but I prefer Grid Runner on the VIC-20. It's even more manic. It's sort of like when you play Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition on the Mega Drive and you set it to maximum speed. Kind of like that kind of enjoyment of playing games. Movement is really fast, but like I said, landing on exactly the character spot you want to land on is really tricky actually, because the movement is character based. Well, it has to be, because everything is working on the grid. Well, we made up a lot of points there on shooting a little man at the top. No, actually you don't get any points for that. So why would you want to shoot him? I'm going to have to look that up. There must be a reason why he's there. I assumed you'd get points. What are you interested in there, Jonesy? Jonesy's just looking up at the top hinges on the door. That is really tricky. So the way the lasers fire the bolts across the screen, I think there must be something different going on with that compared to Grid Runner. I think it makes it more difficult, but probably less random. I have to come back to that.